welcome to Menopause Made Easy with Tanya, Thriving After 45. And I wanted to do a follow-up podcast to the one that I just did last episode regarding how you're feeling changes your DNA. Okay, so this is a follow-up because your thoughts are measurable energy. And I wanted to talk about the science behind your belief and biology and bring in some of Bruce Lipton's work, Dr. Bruce Lipton's work. So last week I talked about Greg Braden, or last episode, and I wanted to just expand on that a little bit. What if I told you your thoughts aren't just floating ideas in your head? They're actual energy that can be measured, shaped, and even trained. And that energy, the rhythm and frequency of your thoughts, is constantly influencing your biology, your hormones, your health, and how you show up in this world. Today, I want to dive into this fascinating science that backs this up, because I don't want people thinking that this isn't backed in science, because a lot of people want that validation. Okay, so I just want to briefly mention what an EEG is and an MEG, which are brain scans, to Bruce Lipton's book, Biology of Belief, and the powerful truth that your subconscious patterns are running 95% of your daily life, and that these patterns, these subconscious patterns, were basically programmed into you at the age from birth to 7. It doesn't mean you can't change them. I've already done an episode on Bruce Lipton, so you can listen to that. But we can rewire things now. We can change our behavior through repetition. Our thoughts have frequency, okay? And we can move from living an old, outdated program to consciously creating health, energy, and mindset one thought at a time. And I've got the science to prove it here. So let's start with a little brain science. I'll go very, very quickly. Researchers use a test called an EEG. I'm going to probably mess this up, but it's called electroencephalography. Okay. I don't know how well I did. But anyway, you all know that EEG, where they place little tiny electrodes on your scalp, and it measures the electrical impulses of your brain. And each thought, each emotion is like a pulse of energy that travels through your neurons. Now, there's something even cooler, and it's called an MEG, and then whatever. Okay, it doesn't matter. So you have your EEG, which is like things that get stuck on your scalp, and then you have an MEG where it doesn't even touch your head, and it detects the magnetic field your brain produces when those electrical signals fire. Okay, did you hear that? Just put your head. Oh my God, I could go on so many tangents here. Anyway, you know what? We'll do one here. So if you rub your hands together, rub your hands together, and then you pull them gently apart about, I don't know, 2 inches, and you just feel the energy. Like, you should feel that energy pulsing. So I do Reiki on people, and you can feel their energy. You can feel where it's more active and hot, and even throughout the body, and maybe to help some come out of. So you back and forth again. You can just come around your head, okay? And again, you can, if you feel anything funky, or you need more of environment. All right, but this machine detects the magnetic field your brain produces when those electrical signals. So your heart, if you've never done and you are, I am more than happy to book an appointment for you. I also have a PEMF mat that you can lie on with some infrared. I'm going to go down that route. Okay. Your thoughts are not trapped inside of you. They radiate outward. You are quite literally an energetic being emitting information into your environment. And that is where biology meets belief. And oh my goodness, this is why you can walk into a room and you can feel people's energy. And I just assume everybody feels this. You can feel if a person's upset, you can feel if they're happy, you can just feel them. You don't even have to talk to them. You can just look into a room and you can see what's going on, or yet better yet, feel what's going on. So how can thoughts change your cells? So remember, we are cellular beings. We are made up of cells. And Dr. Bruce Lipton, who is a cell biologist and the author of The Biology of Belief, like I've mentioned, discovered something radical many, 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 many years ago. Your cells respond not just to their chemical environment, but to the signals you send through your thoughts and emotions. Every belief, every perception creates a biochemical signal. When you're thinking fear, stress, I'm not enough, etc., your brain tells your body we're in danger and pumps out stress hormones. Remember? And then we were talking about Greg Braden's work in the last episode, and how when you think these contracted feelings of fear, anger, resentment, envy, hatred, judgment, your DNA actually tightens and you contract. Okay? Now, when you have feelings of I'm safe, I'm capable, I'm grateful, I feel love, generosity, whatever it is, you produce hormones that promote healing, repair, and energy. And as Greg Braden says, this opens up your DNA. It just makes it more expansive and receptive to healing. And you know what's so freaking amazing about this is you have the choice. If you did not listen to my episode about Greg Braden, I think it's going to be episode 210C. Okay. I highly recommend that you listen to it so that you can put these two together, because it will make a lot of sense. Your biology literally mirrors your beliefs. It's not wishful thinking, it's epigenetics, the science of how your environment and mindset influence which genes get turned on and off. And this is powerful. You must listen to the messages that you are taking in. You must listen to the messages you are taking in. And maybe what I'm telling you just feels a little uncomfortable, a little out there, but it's not. Okay. It's backed by science. So you get to believe, you get the choice to believe what you believe in. Okay. Many years ago, I started believing in this, probably 15 years ago, maybe longer, actually. But that's when I read Biology of Beliefs and have continued to study the work of Joe Dispenza, et cetera, and Dr. Bruce Lipton. I prefer to live in peace and harmony and joy, surrender, love, compassion, curiosity, letting go. It doesn't mean I don't have bad days. It doesn't mean I get angry. It doesn't mean that I don't get ticked off, okay, or any of those things. But I am very aware of what I read, what I watch, what I listen to, and how I am feeling. So I will just leave it at that for a moment. And I understand that I can turn on or off gene expression in my body. Your subconscious is your hidden operating system. And this is where it gets even more interesting. Lipton and many other neuroscientists say that 95% of our daily thoughts and actions come from the subconscious, these old programs written mostly before the age of 7. And that means most of us are living today through the lens of yesterday's conditioning, beliefs like, I'm too old, I can't lose weight, I don't have any willpower, I'm not good enough, I'm not athletic, nobody likes me, why would somebody want to listen to me? Like we just have these, and I know what mine are. I know what a lot of mine are. I've worked through a lot of them, but a lot of the times we don't even know what they are because we're living them. So to be aware of what they are, you must begin to see how you're living. I hope that makes sense, because I can see this, how I sabotage myself due to these old programmings of that I am not enough. Why would people want to listen to me? Like I can actually, I know what they are, and I've been working to improve my self-confidence, my self-esteem, be aware of these old programs, and really train myself. And it's challenging, everybody. It's challenging because even though I say that I've worked through, let me see, that I am worthy, I still do things that resonate, that why bother putting a post out, or why would people listen to my podcast? Like, who am I? I'm not worthy. And I mean, again, it almost makes me want to cry, because I am an intelligent, smart, energetic, vibrant, capable, passionate human being. And I have a mission and a purpose to rise up and elevate other people. I know that. And yet, as much as I do that, there are still times I play small because I am working on the skills of being able to accept criticism and not have it push me down. So there's other things, but those are, so this is why I had an eating disorder for a long time, because I didn't know how to deal with those feelings. And so I ate low vibrational food, which pulls me back and down into a low vibrational state. And anyway, I've done a lot of work, fun work, a lot of fun work. So these programs, think of your body. I think I'm going to say this the right way, but think of this as your body is a computer, and it's running on old software, really, really old software, and we need to update the software. And I'm going to give you just 2 examples that are super simple that I see all the time. But Rachel is stuck in this old paradigm, calories in, calories out. And she's still pushing, striving, and judging herself by numbers. And I have worked with people who live and die by how many calories they eat in a day, regardless of where those calories came from. And a calorie is not a calorie. But some of us are stuck in the old paradigm, calories in, calories out. And her subconscious, she at some age learned, I have to struggle to succeed. I have to struggle to succeed. Okay. And her body is living in a constant state of stress. Now there's Frida, we'll call her Freedom Frida. Okay. And she's learning to work with her biology, not against it, which is what I have been doing for many a time. And she still enjoys food. She still eats the food she enjoys, but she's learned to listen to her body, regulate her nervous system, and reprogram old beliefs. And her body isn't in fight, it's in flow. Oh, and I will not work with anybody anymore who is calorie obsessed because they're so stuck in that paradigm that it's really hard to crack. So I only work with people who are open to food freedom and really understanding nervous system or wanting to learn. You have more of a growth mindset rather than a fixed mindset. Let's just leave it at that. Okay, so these women have the same physiology, but they have different energy, different belief systems, and different results. How do we reprogram our energy and our beliefs? How do we change these subconscious patterns? How do we stop living on autopilot? Science and experience tells us it's possible, and there are 5 powerful ways to start, which I will share with you right now. We need to slow down our brain waves. So I have a device, it's called a Vibe. And if it's not in the show notes, reach out to me because you can save $150 off of getting a device. But they have programs, alpha, beta, delta, theta, gamma. And so you can use that to help you, but you don't have to because you can consciously decide to slow your brain waves down by doing deep breathing, spending time in nature, meditating, and this will help shift you from a fast beta state of busy thinking into a slower theta state. And remember, this theta state is what happens when you're coming out of sleep and going into sleep. And the same frequency we're in when we dream. So theta is the doorway to your subconsciousness. So you can do self-hypnosis. Okay, so slow down your brain waves. You can practice heart-brain coherence, which we did in our last episode. So this comes from Greg Braden's work. Place your hand on your heart. We did a beautiful practice. So if you haven't listened to that episode, please do. You breathe in for 5, out for 8. You feel gratitude, love, or compassion for 3 to 5 minutes. And this helps to synchronize your brain and heart, and it literally tunes your electromagnetic field to coherence. A lot of us are living in incoherence. We want to bring our body and mind, spirit, heart into coherence. Use repetition and emotion. You cannot just think a new thought. You have to feel it. You feel it. You feel it. You feel it. When you say your affirmations or you visualize when you wake up or before you fall asleep, this is when you are very programmable. So when you're waking up, falling asleep, what are you thinking about? Do you go straight into fear and stress and I got to do all this stuff? Do you berate yourself at the end of the day because you didn't get your stuff done? Okay. Can you begin to change those patterns? Notice your body. Your body is a truth teller. When you tense up or hold your breath, your subconscious is revealing fear or resistance. And awareness is the first step to rewiring this. And surround yourself with the energy that matches where you're going. Your environment, what you listen to, what you watch, what you read, okay, what you're consuming, all feed your subconscious. I have not watched the news in, over 30 years. It might be longer. I don't listen to it. I don't watch it. I am very diligent about what comes into my awareness. Okay. And I choose what I'm going to spend my attention on. I do not want this inundation of just having all of the TVs and everything in all the time. Okay, so you get to choose that. So just be aware of the people, music, light, language, your surroundings. Okay, the takeaway, your thoughts are not random. They're measurable energy. And that energy, when repeated and emotionally charged, okay, did you hear that? When repeated and emotionally charged, Program your cells, your hormones, and your habits. And the best news is you can choose to tune differently. You can change the frequency because you are not your old stories. You are the consciousness behind them. So maybe today you start small. You pause, you touch your heart. You choose one new belief, something simple but powerful, like I am safe to change. I am capable of healing. I am creating new energy every day. Repeat it. Feel it. Feel love. Feel gratitude. Feel harmony. Feel compassion. Feel it. Repeat it and watch how your biology begins to change. And yes, you may encounter resistance. I've talked about this, okay? But keep going. Keep going. I have faith in you and I have faith in myself. If you love today's episode, please share it with a friend who's ready to step into her next level of energy awareness and healing. Please like, subscribe, comment, share my podcast. These messages, I just know they need to be heard. I know they need to be heard. And remember, your thoughts are powerful. Use them to build the health, vitality, and life you truly, truly desire. Your thoughts are powerful. Notice when they're deviating from health, vitality, energy. I was trying to put vitality and energy together there. Vitality, new word. Okay. And into the life you truly desire. And until next time, my lovely ladies, keep your heart open and your frequency high. Big hugs surrounding you with lots of love.